lovely people, my name is Nicole and today I want to talk about my most anticipated books of 2017. So it's a new year and that means new books are coming out, a lot of which are very exciting. Now, I realized while making this list that pretty much all of these books coming out in the first half of 2017, which I suppose kind of makes sense because a lot of the books that are coming out in the second half haven't been announced yet, haven't gotten any promo yet, so maybe I'll make another one of these videos sort of halfway through the year. I don't know, we'll see. I'll just kind of play it by ear, see what I'm feeling. So let's just jump right into it. The first one I want to talk about is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This comes out on January 17th and is about a boy whose ex-boyfriend recently passed away, and he's now dealing with his emotions regarding that, and he's interacting with his ex-boyfriend's boyfriend at the time of his death, and they might have something potentially going on together. And it's told in kind of a split timeline, talking about his original relationship with his ex and his current relationship with his ex's later boyfriend. I really loved Adam Silvera's debut book, More Happy Than Not. It was so well written, interesting and different, and absolutely heart-wrenching. So I can't wait to see what he has for us in this book. Next is We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. This comes out on February 14th, and this is about a girl who, after some kind of tragedy happened, she picked up everything and moved across the country to New York. She's the only person who knows what really happened the night of the tragedy, but she is just trying to forget it. But now her best friend is coming to visit her and she's finally going to have to face her past. This is another one who I love the author. I've read a number of Nina LaCour's books previously and they are some of my all-time favorites. Her writing style is always so beautiful and her books always feel so cool and atmospheric. So I'm very excited to read this one. I'm guessing there will be a little bit of a queer element because a lot of her books typically have that. Next, I have A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, and this comes out on February 21st. This is the third and final book in her Shades of Magic trilogy, and I love this series. It's so good. I find it so easy to just get sucked into this world. If you haven't read any of the books in the series before, it's about a man named Kel who can travel between different Londons. There's Grey London, which is the sort of Victorian England normal London. There's White London, which is overrun with magic and dangerous and harsh and stark. And then there's Red London, which is his home, which is beautiful and just the right amount of magic and lively. He's a messenger from the royal family. He travels between Londons to help the various royalties communicate, but he also has a side job as a smuggler. And one day he gets his hands on a dangerous magical artifact, which is then promptly stolen in Grey London by a thief, who he then sort of befriends, and they go on all these adventures together. Like I said, this is one of my favorite books. The last book's ending was kind of a heart-stopping, gut-wrenching kind of thing, so I am so desperate to get my hands on this book. Next, I have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and this comes out on February 28th. This is about a girl who witnesses her best friend being shot by a police officer, and she then has to figure out how to deal with this and what to do next. I know it was inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and has gotten a ton of really good press recently. I'm really interested in reading this because this subject is one that I've done my best to follow and learn more about, as there have been so many horrific news stories about it in the past few years, and I think this book will offer a really interesting new perspective on it. Next is Stranger Than Fanfiction by Chris Colfer, and this comes out on March 7th. This is about a teenager who is a celebrity. He is the star of a hit TV show, and one day 4 fans jokingly invite him on a road trip and he accepts. And then they sort of travel across the country and have quirky adventures and sort of learn more about each other and become friends. I think this plot sounds like it's going to be hilarious and so much fun, and I love his writing style. It's always just a joy to read, full of humor and some really cool plotting, and it's kind of cool that we're getting a book about a celebrity from someone who actually has lived that and who actually has the experience with being a star in a hit TV show. So I feel like it'll be a really interesting look into what it's actually like to live that life. Then I have The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albert Halley, and it's about a girl who's just kind of trying to get through being a teenager and high school and all the drama that comes with that, and one day her twin sister gets a new girlfriend. So then she has to deal with the fact that she feels like she's losing her sister to this relationship, and she's also trying to figure out her own relationship drama. Her sister's girlfriend has this friend who she might maybe want to have a thing with, or she might also be kind of falling for her coworker who's a total dork and not the kind of person she ever saw herself with. I absolutely loved Becky Albertalli's first book, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I've talked about it a ton on this channel. It's one of my all-time favorites, and so I'm definitely excited to read this one. It sounds like it's gonna be really interesting and a lot of fun, and includes some much needed diversity body type wise. It's mentioned in the description that the main character is a bigger girl, and so it's always good to see more body diversity in YA. Then I have Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han, and this comes out on May 2nd. This is the, I think, third and final book in the Laura Jean trilogy, and I love these books. I always think that they're done and then another one comes out. I don't know. I just really like Laura Jean. I think she's really cute, and I feel like the books just have a really good aesthetic, you know? It's just cute and wonderful, and I love it. And Peter Kavinsky is adorable and like the ideal boyfriend. I just love these books. I think they're so much fun. If you don't know, the first book is about a girl who, whenever she has a crush on a guy and then is ready to sort of be over that guy, she writes him a love letter and then puts it in a hat box and puts it away in her closet, never to look at again. And then she's over the guy and she can move on with her life. But one day those letters get sent out and she has to sort of deal with the ramifications of that. Talk to these guys for the first time, sometimes in years. Like I said, I really like the series, so I can't wait to see how everything wraps up. Then I have A Quarter of Wind and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, and this also comes out on May 2nd, and this is another one that's the finale of a trilogy. Apparently it's a popular year for ending trilogies. I don't know. But this is the last book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. The previous book ended in kind of a big way, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. This series started off as sort of a Beauty and the Beast retelling with a human girl named Feyre who had to go live with the fairies in order to repay a debt from killing one of them, and she kind of starts up this relationship with one of the members of the fairy nobility. Things have definitely kind of spiraled from there, but there's so much going on in this series and I can't wait to see how everything wraps up. Then I have The Dark Prophecy by Rick Riordan, and this also comes out on May 2nd, and this is the next book in the Trials of Apollo series. I love this series. Apollo is such a funny main character, and I hear we're gonna get a little bit more from some of the other characters from Percy Jackson that we didn't get to see in the first book in this series. If you don't know, this series is about the Greek god Apollo who has pissed off his dad once again, and so, as is tradition in Greek mythology, when Zeus is pissed at Apollo, he makes him mortal. And so now Apollo is running around New York as a mortal and he's trying to figure out how to become a god again. So like I said, the series is a lot of fun. I really like the first book and I'm definitely excited to see where Rick Riordan goes from there. Then I have Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, and this comes out on May 23rd. This is the second book in the Dark Artifices series, the first book being Lady Midnight. There's another Shadowhunter Chronicles series, and this one's about Emma Carstairs, who is a Shadowhunter. She's grown up in the Shadow world and she lives with the Blackthorn family with her parabatai, Julian, and she is trying to figure out who killed her parents all those years ago. We saw the scene in City of Heavenly Fire, and now we're trying to figure out what the heck happened there. And then she's also having to deal with potentially falling for Julian, who's her parabatai, so that's not really allowed. This is another one that the last book ended in such a like dramatic, plot twisty place that I just cannot wait to get my hands on this one. I've always loved Cassandra Clare's writing. I've always loved her books. She just like has me on the edge of her seat with everything she publishes. And the final book I have on this list is The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich, and this comes out on May 16th. This is about a world where there's this organization that basically sends out love interests, and these two guys are sent out to create sort of a love triangle for this girl and end up falling for each other, which just sounds like a fanfiction gotten very right. That's really all I know about this. I've never read any of Cale Dietrich's writing before. The plot of this one just sounds like so much fun, and it just sounds like it's gonna be amazing and really, really gay, which is all I've ever wanted from my books. We all know that. Those are the books I'm most looking forward to in the first half of 2017. Let me know if you guys are looking forward to any of these or which books you guys are most excited for this year in the comments. I love you and I will see you later.